There we go. Good afternoon, everybody. And hello, Lauren. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. It's awesome to see you, Jackie. How are you going?
Yeah, great. Long time no see. We chatted briefly yesterday. And Lauren, you're up in the Gold Coast, is that right?
Sunshine Coast, a little bit further north. I was on the Gold Coast for about 12 years and I moved up here about 3 years ago.
And the locals call it the Sunny Coast, I think.
They do. Although it was the windy coast the other day. My goodness, it was crazy windy up here. So
We've had lots of wind here as well. Well, welcome everybody, and thank you for dropping into our monthly LinkedIn Live. And this LinkedIn Live, I'm chatting with Lauren Clemett, who is from the Audacious Agency. What a great name! And I'm talking today with Lauren because she's an awards expert, and not just business awards, but book awards and business book awards, hence the connection. So, Lauren, thank you for making the time to be with us this afternoon. And so what I thought I'd do is just give a brief intro to Lauren. At 8 years old, Lauren was told she had word blindness. Now, I've never heard of this before, and that she would never be able to read or write properly. And of course, she then went on to become a 5-time best-selling author and Stevie Award winner and neuro branding expert. Of course, that's what you do when you get told you can't do something, isn't it, Lauren?
absolutely.
Yeah. And she's also had 25 years in marketing comms area, working with ad agencies, her own agency, Evergreen, and also delivering something on the International Rugby World Sevens, which is fantastic. She also helped work people clarify their brand message, identify their ideal clients, and profile building. She's also, this I found really interesting, a vodka quality control expert and keen pickleball player. Tell me, Lauren, what is the thing that pickleball's taking off, isn't it?
Oh, I think all of the aging tennis players are coming out of the woodwork because it's played on a court that's about a third of the size. So you don't get that stress on the knees and you're not just constantly running around picking up balls. So it's very fast. It's a bit like table tennis. It's very fun and very addictive.
Yeah, okay. We've got a bit of a local issue here in our local council area because pickleball wants to take over 2 tennis courts and the locals are up in arms about it. And so there you go. Anyway, we're not going to solve that problem. Today we're here to talk about entering awards, entering book awards and business awards, and everything to do with that. I must say, Lauren, that I've often thought about entering awards, but I just hesitate when it really comes to doing it. So I'm really keen to understand a bit more about the whole award process and why you'd make the effort and do it, and how to overcome your fears. So maybe you could give us a bit of an intro into why you might do it, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great question. I actually first discovered the power of awards when I was working for Saatchi and Saatchi back in Wellington, and that was back in the late 90s, and the internet was really not even new. It was not even existent in most departments. I think there was one floor that had some geeks with propeller head gear on, and looking at computer screens. And the agency, it was based in Wellington, New Zealand, but they were in the top 10 creative agencies in the world based on their results. That's when Kevin Roberts was running the show, and he went on to write Love Marks, and he was based in New York. And I got to work with Kim Feasy and just some amazing, really well-known creatives in New Zealand at the time. And they had a creative lounge there. And it was a little room, beautiful little room, like a little lounge room for the creatives to go and just relax or come up with ideas or go through the brief or whatever. And I was a production manager, so I spent a lot of time in this room because I'd be in there meeting with the creative team, going through the brief, what they wanted, and then trying to figure out how to deliver it. And in that room, they had basically big bins overflowing with cans, lines, and DA&D pencils and just award trophies everywhere. A bit like this, they were everywhere, but they'd run out of space on the wall for all of their certificates. There were so many of them that there was no more hanging room. So they'd installed these spikes that were coming out from the wall on an angle, and they were impaling the certificates on the spikes. You know, they had that many awards. It was just, and to me, it was a bit of a wank. It was a bit of an ego trip, you know, and I sort of went, oh, I don't know about it. But there was one award that we did win, and I was in the direct marketing department a lot. So I was learning all about data management and how to make sure things were consistent and mailing and you name it, stuff that folds, what they called it. And one of the awards we won was an effectiveness award. So it was for a campaign. So it was an advertising campaign, but the award was based on how effective, what was the ROI for the client. And because it was direct mail, we had the stats, we had the figures, you know, we had raw data to tell us this was a tangible result. And I really liked that award because it was telling clients from the agency that actually the work they do wasn't just creative and it was known it can and all the rest of it, but it was getting results for clients. And that was that extra trust factor. So when I was challenged to enter awards for myself, I sort of was very hesitant. I'm like, I haven't even got results. I'm very new. I'd only just started my personal branding consultancy back in 2010 in Australia, but I had created a approach to personal branding around neuro branding with a process. I'd mapped it all out. I'd put beta testing clients through it. They'd had amazing results. So I had started, but I certainly wasn't a big advertising agency. So I entered the Stevie Awards, the Asia Pacific Stevie Awards for innovation. That was back in 2016, and I've got the trophy. Look, it's here. There's the little silver that I won. Look at that. Back in 2016. And this was up against some really big agencies. And the cool thing about the Stevie Awards was that you also get the judges' feedback. So not only was there that feeling of, oh my goodness, I actually won up against big agencies, so I am worth what I'm doing. You know, that whole credibility thing, that imposter syndrome that everybody has, overcoming that fear. But then when I saw what the judges were saying about how I was doing was so important, about how I'd taken something that wouldn't normally be accessible because it's only with big advertising agencies, I'm making it more accessible for professionals and smaller businesses to use. And they just were so complimentary with what they were saying that it gave me so much more confidence to go, right, I'm onto something here. I need to keep doing this. So, because life in small business or as an entrepreneur or a thought leader, it's not easy, is it? It's really hard when you're on your own and you need that little, that I call it the itty bitty shitty committee. Yeah, those little voices in your head. You need to keep them quiet by, you know, building your confidence and being really comfortable to step into the spotlight a little bit.
Interesting you say that. So in terms of how to choose, well, how do you know what awards are out there, number one, and then kind of how would you go about assessing whether you'd spend the time and money to actually enter them, or is there a methodology you use, or is it just kind of gut feel?
Yeah, no, great question. Isn't it funny, you know, when you get pregnant, all of a sudden there's loads of pregnant people out there, or when you are going to buy a type of car, like a BMW, whatever, they're everywhere, right? When you start thinking about awards, you realize how many of them there are out there. And we've got a list of about 270, 280 awards programs that we know about, that we know how they run, we know the questions they ask, we know what the judges want. So we've done our investigation into when they open, how much it costs to enter, and so on. So we've got, like, there's so many out there. I mean, Google is your friend. And if you're an author, there are lots of awards out there for authors, but there are also categories within other programs. So, for example, the Stevie Awards for Women in Business, which is like the Oscars of business, they're global. Yep. It's just for women-run businesses or women-led companies. They've got a category in there for collateral, and one of those items of collateral is Book of the Year. Oh, so, right. Yeah, there is a little bit of, you know, and if you can duck and dive and weave and find a really nice niche, it obviously improves your chances of winning because you're not up against so much competition. But also it helps you get really clear on what you want to be known for. So one of the Stevie Awards back here, one of the gold trophies there, is for Entrepreneur of the Year in 2017. Wow. And yeah, that was an awesome one to win. So, but it all comes down to, what do you want to be known for? So what sort of award? Is it a business award? Is it a local award? Is it a national award? Is it a women's award? Is it a mumpreneur award? Micro. So what sort of award do you want to get that's going to level up your profile? And then secondly, which category is going to make your audience go, wow, that's awesome. They've obviously got credibility in the area that I want to know about. I'm going to go and work with them, or I'm going to read their book, or I'm going to follow their program, or I'm going to come and hear them speak. So yeah, so it's very strategic because it can be, once you open that Pandora's box, there are awards for Africa out there. Be very wary of the ones that you get an email saying, congratulations, you're Australia's top 10 profile building female specialist for short blonde hair. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and by the way, in order to claim your trophy, it's $2,000. So be very suspicious about the ones that you don't actually have to do anything to win. There are certainly some out there that are popularity contests, which is just vote for us and so on. The ones you want to look for are they've got integrity, they've been around a while, and they also have a great way to leverage. So they either provide support or they have a great community. The Stevie Awards, for example, have a LinkedIn group you can join. You can apply to be in their newsletter for free, all that sort of stuff. So there's lots of stuff they give their award winners to help them leverage their award as well. So, and yeah, do you want to be associated with them? And this is the thing, Jackie, isn't it? It's branding by association. It's like if you're a speaker or an author and you've been asked to present for Subway, or you've been asked to stand on the stage for Coca-Cola or one of the big campaigns that are out there, it just levels up your brand. So if you want to win a Telstra award, that levels your brand up to be at that level. So just thinking about where you want to position yourself. We call it, you're upping your profile, your unique profile position, and then figuring out which awards and which categories are going to do that.
And a couple of book questions, because we've got some people here who are writing books or and coming out and launching them. Do the book awards, are they particularly time bound? I mean, I'm a judge on one award that you have to be published in the immediately preceding year. Do all book awards kind of have a tight time frame or not?
Not all of them. In fact, I find with book awards, they tend to be quite a long time frame. So the Book Excellence Awards are almost open for an entire year. So if you get the timing right, you could enter in I don't know, February, March, and they're not announced till January the next. Do you know what I mean? So it could be a whole year before you find out, there's a lesson in that too. I'll share that in a minute. But yes, the ABIAs are extraordinary because they're just Australian books. It's just for ones that have been published recently. I really like that it's a niche, because there's so many people writing books. Then there's particular ones for fiction novels versus non-fiction. There's a whole raft out there. So yes, whatever you can find out there, and if you've written and published a book just this year, there are definitely opportunities for you, like there would be if you were a startup. There are lots of startup categories as well out there, but normally it's like if you started up in the last 12 months to 24 months. So it's worth making sure that while you've got the opportunity as a new author or as a startup, that you make the most of that.
Yeah, we've got a really good question here, actually. Some book awards require you to be published by a traditional publisher as opposed to self-publishing. Have you come across those different kinds of ones? I know that the ABBAs, the Australian Business Book Awards, include self-published books, but some don't, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, it's becoming less and less the case these days. Indie authorship has become such a huge thing now with Amazon and Ingram Spark and everybody else enabling you to do that. There are some, but that's more rare now. It's more the case that they'll definitely need an ISBN, a lot of them. So it's not just a case of, hey, I've published a book, I printed it myself and it's sitting in my garage. So they do want to know that it's actually up there and available to the public. But I've actually won awards for books where I've even used a pen name.
Oh, right.
So there's some interesting things you can do about that. And there's categories for ebooks. So it's not always necessarily a 70 to 100,000 word fiction novel or whatever. There are specific categories for all sorts of types of genres and books.
And that's a great point, because one of my clients actually won an ABBA award for her audiobook.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a really interesting thing. And I think that thing around having an ISBN and stuff like that has become even more important because there's this whole thing out there with people creating 30, 40 page kind of booklet books using AI and not actually doing any writing and producing like 5 a day or something, So, there's a real effort, I think, in some areas to get some quality into that.
Because the world hasn't got enough content. Is that why they're doing it? There's nowhere near enough content out there.
Oh, from what I can see, they're trying to use it as a money spinner, just to try and it's degrading everything. Yeah, like who needs more useless content? And tell me, how do you kind of work on getting over that imposter syndrome fear? And I'm kind of asking for me as well, because you think, oh, I won't enter because I probably won't win.
Yeah, that's often the case. And the other one I get told all the time is I don't think I've done enough to enter. So it's quite fun actually, because our first step when we are doing awards for people is to have a strategy session and to, get all that information out of them. What's your past? Why do you do what you do? Why were you so inspired to do this? What have some of the results been? What were some of the challenges? So we go through all of that. When we finish that conversation and my brain is going, oh my goodness, there's already a dozen award categories I can think of off the top of my head that you could go for. And we start talking about, hey, well, you could do this. They're going, oh my goodness, I never knew that this was the case. It's quite funny, isn't it? When we are running our own businesses, when we're entrepreneurial or we're out as a leader, we don't stop to reflect on what we've achieved. We're in the now and in the what's going to be done for the future. We're constantly on the next thing. So just recently I had an amazing coach who we've done awards for, and she said to me, just the process of me gathering together all the bits of information for the awards was so mind-blowing, because it gave her the whole confidence to go, look at what I've done. Look at all the people that I've helped. Look at the results that I've got, or the reviews and testimonials from my book, and how many people have read it, and it's been turned into an audio book. And, it's not until you stop and start to collect that. And it's the nice thing, Jackie, is that it's tangible. Whenever I think about that fear, that imposter syndrome, that whole, your brain playing tricks on you, I know one of the psychologists' things that they do is, where's the evidence? Yeah, where's the evidence that you're not good enough? Where's the evidence that I haven't done enough? Where's the evidence that you're not ready? Let's look at the evidence. So I guess when we go back and gather all that information together for an awards entry, we're providing evidence to people to go, look, this is what you've done. And it's funny, actually, often we'll send the first entry off to a client for them to approve. And we've had them come back, a couple come back on email going, I think you've sent me the wrong one. I think this is somebody else. And it's like, no, this is what you told us about you. And it's like, oh my God, you've made me sound amazing. It's like, well, you are amazing when you review and look at what you've achieved and the outcome that you're creating. Then yes, you're achieving amazing things. So yes, the whole process of entering awards is awesome for overcoming that imposter syndrome.
And tell me, so okay, you've finally convinced me I'm going to enter. What happened? How can I leverage it even if I don't win?
Yeah, absolutely.
I really want to win, but what happens if I don't win?
Yeah, I mean, there are awards out there you pay to play and you can win guaranteed, but we don't work with those ones. We've got a lot more integrity than that. What we tell our clients is we can't guarantee a win, but we've got like a 97% success rate at getting people through to finalists, which is awesome. It means that our process is working really, really well. And there are some really basic things that people don't do, like making sure you've got a professional support document that goes with it, and making sure you answer the questions and giving the judges lots of metrics and all that sort of stuff. The worst one I've heard of just recently, Jackie, back to AI, is people leaving the AI prompt in their entry. So it's like, not only have I used AI, it's the insert name here, Anyway, so the thing is not to wait until they're announced. So for example, that book Excellence Awards, which I think I've got one, it's on my book there, so that you could be almost a year waiting to see if you've won that, right? So the cool thing about Book Excellence Awards is, and it's a selection, you don't have to do it, but I suggest you do, is when you put your entry in, tick the box to get a review as well. And this is the coolest thing about author awards, is they're not only giving you an award for your book, but you can also get a review at the same time. And they're not just a one paragraph, it's a really cool book, I really like the way Jackie spells her words or whatever. It's a proper editorial multi-paragraph review that you can then use as a blog, as a social media post. You can put it out there as a newsletter. You can repurpose it all over the place. Put it on the back of your book cover, put it on your website for your book. Here's what the Book Excellence editor said about it, and so on. So you can use that straight away. So the review tends to come through quite quickly. But what we're doing at the moment is the minute that we hit submit, because we also submit the awards for our clients as well, because every awards portal is different. They're a bit of a nightmare, to be honest with you. But we do the submission. The minute we do that, we then create graphics and social media content to say, I'm in, I'm a contender, I'm a finalist, I've put myself forward, I'm nominated, watch this space. And that's a little bit of helping them overcome that imposter syndrome, because you are out there talking all about yourself before they've even been announced.
Yeah.
But here's how you do it. You don't just go, hey, look at me. You do, I'm really excited about this because I don't know if I'm going to win, but I had a chance to reflect on what I've done over the past couple of years. And this is what it taught me. And these are the people that it helped. And I couldn't have gotten here without these people in my life. So there's a really, really genuinely nice way of telling people you've put yourself up for award. And you can say, look, I'm chewing my fingernails. I'm not even sure I should be posting this. You can be honest about it, right? But you're sharing that with people so that they're on the journey with you. So it doesn't matter that you don't win. It doesn't even matter that you're not a finalist. Leverage it even before it gets to that point. Just share that news. People want to go on the journey with you. It's that personal story.
You're absolutely right, and I'm constantly saying that to our clients around, when they're actually writing and then designing their book, that you can create a community around your book journey. So
absolutely,
it absolutely makes sense that you do it with awards. And so hey, look, I've put my award on, I've posted that, and oh my gosh, I'm selected as a finalist. So how can I use that? I guess for letting the world know.
Yeah, absolutely. And same thing, a lot of people do hold back. They go, well, I'm a finalist, but I haven't won, so I'm not going to tell anyone. It's like it's an Australian thing, I think. Australian, New Zealand, British as well, apparently. We travel to New York every year to go to the Stevie Awards for Women in Business. We're going again in November. Last time we went, we arrived on the Sunday, and it was the day of the New York Marathon. So we couldn't get a taxi into town. We had to catch a train. All the roads were shut, everything else. But we got into the city, dumped our bags, and went out for a walk. And everybody was wandering around the streets with these medals around their necks, these marathon medals on the outside of their jackets in the afternoon. And the race had finished in the morning, and they were still wearing the medals proudly as they walked down the street. And guess what? They were still wearing them 3 days later. They were still on the streets with the medals around their necks. They were putting them on and wearing them out. That's the difference between Americans celebrating success and Australians who run a marathon, get a photograph with their medal, and then take it off and put it in their pocket, and they never show it, right? So this is the thing. We have to sort of overcome our own itty-bitty shitty committee. And again, there's a way of doing it, of saying, look, oh my goodness, we're a finalist. This is incredible. Never say, I didn't expect to win. If I see anyone who's watched this typing on social media, oh my God, I never expected to be a finalist, I'll come and hunt you down and kill you. Why would you enter if you didn't expect that you could win it, So, but always say, I'm so impressed that we are through to finalists. This is a big thing for our business. It's another accomplishment. It shines a light on our team or on our process. It shines a light on the way that we're changing lives. Plus, guess what? This is really cool. You can congratulate the other finalists.
Yeah.
So go and find that finalist listing. Like them, follow them, whatever, mention them in your post. Congratulations to all the other finalists, including blah, blah, blah. So now you've shared a nice story, a bit of a graphic. Oh my goodness, we're finalists. This is exciting. Thank you so much. Congratulations to all the finalists. Tag the awards, put on Instagram, because what happens is the awards companies want finalists to attend the gala dinner.
Of course.
Because they sell tickets, right? So if you can promote all the other finalists and the awards and promote the fact that you're fun. And don't just do it once. Get it out there with a couple of different graphics, tell different stories, talk about how excited, what am I going to wear? Is it the red dress or the blue dress? There's all sorts of fun stuff you can do. I mean, God, this is the best part about what I do is as a part of our marketing and leveraging of awards, we get to dress up in sparkly outfits with a glass of champagne and attend these events. How fun is that? So really leverage the fact that you have, and you'll see it behind me, they're not all winning stuff on there. There's finalist awards as well as winning awards, So it's all about how you treat your journey and those steps to where you go. And another quick tip for finalists, when you go to those gala dinners, please create an acceptance speech. Don't get up on that stage going, oh, I didn't think I'd win. I don't know what to say. I didn't prepare anything. Please don't be that person, because I will hunt you down and kill you. You've got a moment on stage if you go to that gala dinner, and even if you don't win, you've got a moment on the red carpet to give an acceptance speech. Even if you don't win, record it on your phone, put it out on Facebook Live or LinkedIn Live. Thank people for all they did to help you get where you are. We didn't win tonight, but I'm so proud of the fact we're a finalist and we're up against these amazing companies and we've learned so much about our business and we can't wait to go next year and we're going to do this. Do you know what I mean? Have an acceptance speech that makes a difference. And there's a process to an acceptance speech as well. And I've got a video I can send people if they want it.
Great. And actually your comment reminds me, I've just been watching the video of the woman who had a bike accident and it's just broke her own world record in the Paralympics. And after her, what she said, I'm so proud of me. I've worked so hard. Thanks to everybody. And she was dancing around after getting her medal, and just the sheer joy and, kind of ownership of just she'd achieved something that she really wanted to just really uplifting.
Yeah, her mindset's amazing. I listened to her sister actually on the radio who was so excited. And basically she said, Mum knew she'd win. Mum was just like all over it. She's going to win. So how to go into, imagine if you could go into life in general with that attitude of, I'm going to win. Doesn't matter if I don't, but my mindset is, I've done enough. I've done more than enough. I'm worthy of this. And I'm just going to win. I'm going to have a winning mindset regardless of what happens. Yeah,
it was just really, I think, just so one of the most positive, compelling things I've seen in a long time.
Yeah,
amazing. And I guess that's a really good segue to you and about why you'd go and actually make the effort and go into awards, whether they're business or book awards or both, because, it's, most of us who are in our own businesses work hard. It's a great way to, I guess, not that we seek recognition, but it's good to celebrate.
Absolutely. And it's, as you say, validation is awesome. It's great for self-confidence and so on. Even if you feel you don't need it, we can always grow. We can always improve. We can always learn and become better. There's no stopping with that. There's no limitations to how much you can develop as a human being. So there's always that ability to do it. The thing I really like about awards is they're very tangible.
Yeah.
So in this day and age, with so much information, like you say, ebooks written by AI and all the rest of it, we are flooded with content. It's so hard to get good ROI on marketing these days. You spend all that time and effort writing a book and trying to market it and getting it out there and speaking at events and being a thought leader and creating programs and all. You spend all this time. There's very little tangible result to show for it. Whereas an award, when you're standing there on a stage and you've physically got your hands on a trophy, and it's a funny story actually. There's a fabulous woman, Farina Chen. She's a jeweler. She stepped out of the corporate world to run her own business. So massive challenge, huge risk taking to go from one world to another. She won an Australian Small Business Champion Award, not this year, last year, and she purposely turned up late to the ceremony because she didn't want to give an acceptance speech. She just knew she would crumble. She couldn't stand most people say public speaking is the number one thing that makes it more fear than death, I think. But yeah, she did not want to do it. So I had to go up and get her award for her. And then we were ringing, where are you? Come along. And so she came along and we gave her, she took photographs and all the rest of it, was great. But to her credit, She also was entered in the Stevie Awards for Women in Business last year, and she came with us to New York, and she did get up on stage and she gave a fabulous acceptance. Yes, her knees were knocking, her palms were sweaty, she was still, but she did it. And what we've seen, I actually, in front of my eyes, saw this woman's confidence grow. And now she's all over Instagram, she's posting stuff on social media, and she's got that air of confidence about herself. So I think the nice thing is that tangible, I've actually physically done this. Here's my proof.
Yeah.
Like I said before, what's the evidence, and it's that credibility and that visibility that matters.
Oh, that's great. Now, if anybody's got any questions, you can type them in and we can answer them. Is there anything that we haven't covered, just I guess in this top level summary, Lauren, that you'd like to mention?
I think maybe specifically for authors, it's a really easy thing as an author, and I've written 5 books myself, to hide behind the book. My first 3 books were with a pen name because I was writing about endometriosis and eczema and all the things I'd been through, but I didn't want to be known for that. Do you know what I mean? Which is why I used a pen name. When I decided to write my own books about personal branding, it did take me a while to go, I don't know whether people even want to know this stuff. It's just, can't they just Google it? And it's just, you have that whole silliness going on around your expertise, right? But there is that requirement for that, especially if you want to be a thought leader. This is coaches, this is mentors, this is people who want to be known in their industry as a leader. They want to run coaching programs or sell online courses or whatever it is, or get paid speaking gigs and all that sort of stuff. We all know that using your book to leverage your way into those opportunities is extraordinary. A book's like a business card on steroids, right? But if you then get to a point where, say, for example, there's a bunch of people who they're looking at to be speakers at a conference, and here's all their books and all their promotional gear, and your book is the one that's got these things all over it, these award things all over it, and your speaker profile says you're #1 at this, and you've got a Stevie Award for that, or a Small Business Award for that, or you're a thought leader here. It just levels you up that little bit above your competition. So, because if you're wanting to be booked, especially to speak on a stage, the people booking you just want that confidence that when you get up there, you're going to know your stuff and you're going to deliver it well. So that's just giving them, again, that tangible evidence that you're not only an author, but you're a best-selling author and an award-winning author, and you're an award winner for what you do. So it's just leveling that profile up. So I guess from a strategic point of view, if you're looking at writing books or you've already written a book, it's that how do I level this up a little bit more above other people?
And I think that's a really good point. And it also kind of, I'm thinking about me, it kind of takes it out of the, weirdly in a way, takes it out of the personal thing. It's actually, it's good for my business, and it will help me achieve the things that I want, as opposed to looking at it just as a personal kind of ego thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. That's the leverage that you can get from it. And the other thing is people spend time writing, or they get us to help them write their entries and so on. And we see it and they see it and the judges get to see it, but nobody else gets to see it. Yeah. So one of the things we're also encouraging our clients to do is to repurpose the entries. So take those little snippets, those little stories about the challenges that you overcame, turn them into a blog post, turn them into a LinkedIn article, turn them into social media. You can repurpose your entry for months. So yeah, there's so much you can do with it.
Oh, great. Look, we're coming up to time. Donna, you might want to put up Lauren's slide. So Lauren has a bunch of different programs, but she's actually created a package to share today and for people who are working in and around us. So Lauren, you might just want to take people to quickly through this, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. So author awards are quite different to standard business awards. And as you say, Jackie, it's about finding those specific categories that make sense and leveraging it as much as possible. And some of them do take months before they actually announce them. So we've put together a package that helps authors make the most of it. So we start off with that strategy session and create a proper plan that talks about what awards and what categories you would go for. And then we do your submissions. We create a support document. So if you're also a speaker or you do community work or you've got a business and you want to share some case studies, it's all in there for the judges to see as well. We also help you with a marketing plan so that you can repurpose your entry and get that out there. And then we look at podcasting. There's loads of author podcasts and they're looking for guests, and it's finding the right ones, and they're in your plan, and we apply to those as well. And then we give you leveraging. So every time we enter an award, there's social media and there's content and blogs and so on that we give you, so that it's like a snowball effect. So this normally lasts about 6 months, but the snowball effect can roll on for as long as you want it to.
Oh, look, that's terrific. And there's Sue also just got a question for us. She says it often takes a lot of time to do the applications. Obviously, you can help with that. And there's a cost to entry for awards. And also, may I say, in book awards, you do need to send possibly multiple copies of your book to for the entry as well. Some want the physical book and some want electronic. What's a reasonable number of awards to apply for each year, assuming that you are eligible?
Oh, millions, Sue. No, it's not. And that's hundreds of thousands. No. In reality, the awards are fantastic. They're wonderful for you as an author, but unless you leverage them, they're very little point for you in your business, right? So ideally, we look at entering at least one a month, so that you've got something happening every month. So you've got either you've submitted, or you're finalizing, or you've won. So there's something rolling. And as we start, of course, there's not a lot happening in terms of results. So we talk all about submissions and so on. And then as you win over the months, you keep seeing these things pop up. So that's why it's not just about entering the awards. It's about leveraging them, getting on podcasts, getting reviews and so on. But yes, the nicest thing about planning it out is you've got a time frame and a budget. So it's got what the entry fee is. Yes, do they require you to send 3 copies of your book? And is it going to America or whatever? So yes, there's everything all mapped out for you to budget with, which is awesome.
Another great question. How long does your book have currency for? 1, 3 to 5 years? I might kind of butt in here for a little bit. So it kind of depends on the award. As Lauren said, some awards take 12 months. I know that the ABBAs, your book has to have been published within the financial year, immediate financial year past. Other awards, they're less concerned about time frame. So again, Lauren, you probably know way more about this than me in terms of detail.
Yeah. Majority is it's been produced in the last couple of years or the last 12 months, specifically with book categories or book awards. But there are absolutely like the Literary Titan, which is a really good one to go for, because they actually give you a full editorial review of your book. They have something called legacy books.
Oh, wow.
So they have this year's books and last year's books, and then legacy is any year beforehand. Now, admittedly, with that, you're going to be up against books that have been written donkey's ages. So there is more people going for those. But absolutely, there are definitely opportunities for books that have been around for a number of years to go back and re-win awards for them, which is awesome as well. And if you've got a series, so I know one of the hacks with book marketing is that you write 3 books. Correct. And then you combine them into one book with all 3 in it. And you can win each of those every year as it comes along, and then enter the compilation one in for an award as well. Plus, the other thing as well, Jackie, that I found really helpful is if you've got a co-authored situation. So if you've got 5 or 6 or 10 authors all writing a chapter of a book, the nicest thing about that is you split the costs amongst you.
Yeah.
So you put them into the awards, everybody pays their $20 or $30 or whatever it is to go towards the entry fee, and everybody gets a chance to win, which is awesome. So co-authored books works really well.
Oh, terrific. I'm trying to be a good Virgo and stay on time. Lauren, we're going to wrap it up now. Thank you so much for your time and your insights today. I think you've convinced me that I should be doing this. and you know what? I've written 38 books. So wow. That makes me laugh. So thank you so much for your time. Donna, you might just put up our whole last slide. Thank you, everybody, for coming on and listening today. And if you couldn't make it, obviously we'll be putting this online. And Lauren's contact details are up on the screen, as are mine. And there's a special offer for those of you who have listened to this LinkedIn Live, and also for our clients as well. So I'd like to thank Lauren for that. It's been terrific to chat with you. I have actually learned a great deal about awards, and I really am. I'm just smiling because yeah, I should have been doing this a long time ago. And I know that there's an award out there that I've been reminded that I should apply for. So maybe I should get off my chuff and do it. So
yeah, there's a kick up the pants for you, Jackie. Absolutely.
yeah, get that little bitty shitty committee out of my head. So
Yeah.
hey, thank you so much for your time, and enjoy the rest of your day. And thank you everybody else, you know, for attending today.
Awesome, Jackie. Thank you.
It's a